Good morning, everyone. My name is Jean-Noel.
Test 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ouais, ça doit être le câble. C'est mieux là? Est-ce que tu m'entends là? Ouais, mais en fait, c'est le HF sur le mien en fait. Maintenant, c'est toi qui l'as. Ça fait du buzz. Et ici? C'est chez moi là, non? Ouais, c'est chez moi. Et si je le mets là, c'est chez toi? C'est à qui ça? C'est à toi? Il fait un buzz monstrueux. Il fait des vrais grésillements sur tous les micros que tu le poses. Ouais, on peut t'en... Ça, j'en ai un là. C'est bien?
Good morning. Let's start with the statement. The Foreign Minister Gideon Saar, and then we'll open it for questions. Foreign Minister, please.
I met this morning with the French Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jean-Noel Barrot. We met in Four Eyes and also with our teams. It was a good, effective meeting. which we discussed all the regional issues: Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, our hostages. Iran is a dangerous state with an extremist regime that works intensively against regional stability, exporting the Islamist revolution, spreading terrorism in the region. The most extremist regime in the world shouldn't possess the most dangerous weapon in the world. This objective, to prevent Iran from achieving nuclear weapon, is a common objective of France and Israel. Hamas is pushing to renew the war by refusing to release our hostages. We still have 59 hostages held in Gaza Strip, and to lay down its weapons. Israel will not give up on any of its citizens, kidnapped citizens, and will not agree to return to the reality of pre-7 of October, where we had a threat to our security and the security of our citizens from Gaza. I made it clear to my French colleague. We are ready to end the war tomorrow. And the way is very simple. Hostages back, Hamas out. We are still giving a chance to negotiations to extend the ceasefire and release our hostages on the basis of Witkoff proposal. But it is not open-ended. France and Israel are both interested in the stability of Lebanon, the continuation of the ceasefire, and the release of Lebanon from Iranian occupation. Israel has a commitment, a superior commitment, to safeguard its security and the security of our citizens. All our activities are meant to serve this goal. We shouldn't allow Hezbollah to recover and to rearm, and we will not let it happen. Inside Lebanon, there is a cooperation between Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas, and we will not allow terror activities from there against Israel and our civilians. And we will not allow to come back to the reality of 6th of October on any of Israel's borders. France is a friendly country, and I'm saying that even though from time to time we can have disputes. I have a continuous dialogue, an ongoing dialogue with the French Foreign Minister, and we exchange views. I invited him today to visit Israel. I believe he will do that soon. And I'm looking forward to continue our dialogue for the benefit of our two nations.
Thank you, Foreign Minister. Questions? Yes, please.
Mr. Minister,
If you can present yourself.
Jeffrey Schaefer from AP. So from a week ago, your government approved a voluntary emigration from Gaza, the Palestinians that want to take it up. How is that going? Are you making? Is there any progress on that front? What countries, if any, have agreed to take them?
It is very simple. Free immigration from free will of people should be allowed from Gaza Strip as from any other part of the world, and mainly in zones with the same circumstances. So one thing is here, the free will, the free choice of Gazans who wants to leave, and on the other hand, we should have countries who are ready to accept immigrants. And if both conditions are met, it is moral, it is humane, it is practical, it should be done. It is not in our intention to enforce anyone to immigrate, but to allow those Gazans who will want to go out, and I can assure you that there are a lot of people there that want to immigrate.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Lena Basista, Monitor and Can, radio. Two questions, please. First on Syria, because there were reports that the IDF is operating in order to prevent Turkish takeover of the Syrian territories. Can you confirm that? What is our position exactly of the Turkish presence there? And the second question about Lebanon. The French are saying that their proposal...
Who's saying?
The French are saying that the proposal that they submitted some time ago about the presence, the entry of French and military soldiers into the 5 points to replace Israeli soldiers, they say that this proposal is still on the table. Can you confirm that?
With regard to the second question, it is not something we adopted on any stage. With regard to the first questions, all our military actions in Syria are with the purpose of keeping our security and avoid threats to the security of Israel, and we don't have any other intentions with that.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Hey, Nathaniel Aliman from Israel Transport News. So recently, members of France's National Rally Party arrived in Israel for an official visit. What led to Israel's recognition of this party? How is this move perceived in France, including within the Jewish community that we'll meet later on today? And how, and will you be meeting with any of their representatives today?
I won't meet representatives of this party in my current visit, but I instructed about 2 months ago that we will have connections like we have with any other party. After we had, first of all, a very serious discussion in our ministry, and we analyze mainly 2 issues. First of all, the attitude towards the State of Israel. Secondly, the attitude with regard to phenomena like Holocaust denial, anti-Semitism. And we indeed noticed that a change had occurred in the context of this party, and I had same decision about 2 other right-wing parties in Europe. And of course, we also, through our embassy, had a dialogue with representatives of Jewish community. I can say that you have differences. You have a different approach. Some things one thing, others think differently, but eventually the decision is ours as a sovereign state, and this was the decision.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, Harold Hyman from C News. Question about Iran. Is the Iranian nuclear or ballistic danger imminent, according to you, and are Paris, Jerusalem on the same page? And are you cooperating also with Washington and London about this threat?
We are speaking of course, with Paris and London. Both are friendly countries. Of course, our dialogue with the U.S. is most intense, and we are sharing information, analysis, and this is the dialogue. This was part of my conversation with my counterpart today.
Yes, please.
Sorry, John Irish from Reuters. I've got two questions. Just to follow up on the Turkish question. How concerned is Israel about the apparently growing role of Turkey in Syria? And on Iran, Western powers frequently talk about Iran's irreversible knowledge gain, meaning you can bomb Iran's sites, but you can't take away its knowledge.
Can you repeat the second question?
Western powers often talk about Iran's irreversible knowledge gain. So you can take away, you can bomb these sites, but you can't take away the knowledge of how to enrich. Wouldn't attacking its nuclear sites just ensure Iran's nuclear program will go further underground and out of sight? Do you not agree that you can delay the Iranian bomb, but you can never actually prevent it?
First of all, I want to refer to operational dimensions. It's not, what's important is the objective. And the objective is not to have Iran with nuclear weapon. I think it is important. I think it's an international consensus. And we don't exclude the diplomatic path. What's important is to reach the objective, to meet the objective. With regard to Syria, we indeed are worried by Turkish, by the way, it's not only in Syria. They play a negative role in Syria. They play a negative role in Lebanon. They play a negative role in, they have aspiration all over the region and in other regions of the world. And specifically, they are having aggressive attitude towards the Kurdish autonomy, Rojava, in the northern part of Syria. And they are doing their utmost to have Syria as a Turkish protectorate. It's clear that this is their intention. We don't think that it was good when Syria was in an Iranian proxy, kind of Iranian proxy, and we don't think that Syria should be a Turkish protectorate.
הצרפתים מאוד מתנגדים לחזרה לעזה ומאוד מודאגים מהסיוע ההומניטרי גם. ישראל אומרת שמדובר בלחץ לשחרר את החטופים. מה אמרתם בשיחה? France is very concerned about the re-entry of Israel to Gaza and the humanitarian aid. Israel says it's mostly pressure to liberate the hostages. What was said in the meeting?
I explained our view. We surely want to dismantle military capabilities and to remove the threat to our security from Gaza. We want to liberate our hostages there. And as I said on other issue, we are ready to get it done in a diplomatic path, if it is possible. We had done 2 previous hostages deal on November 2023 and on January this year. We are ready to do another, but we will not wait and agree to the continuation of the current situation when 59 of our citizens are held and tortured by an illegal terror state in Gaza, and we will not accept anymore the threat to the security of Israel and its citizens from Gaza. With regard to the aid, we have here two very important principles that I want to emphasize. First, the question is connected to how much supply you have in a place. During the 42 days of the ceasefire, 25,000 trucks entered to Gaza Strip, and there is no shortage today in basic commodities. So that's one principle of international law. And the other is that such an aid cannot be a contribution to the economic and military effort of the enemy. By the way, President Biden, in the beginning of this war, said that if Hamas will take over the aid, it should be stopped. And what happened, and we know it as a fact, that they took over, they made money from each truck. It became the main financial source for Hamas budget in Gaza Strip. It gave them the opportunity for the first time for a long time to pay 100% salaries to their activists. It gave them the opportunity to recruit new terrorists to their organization. So these all are unacceptable. And these two principles are basic principles on in international law and rules of war, and I elaborate about it in our meeting as I'm doing now.
Two questions. First question, is the rise of anti-Semitism act in Europe and more specifically in France worried the Israeli government? And the second question, a part of the Israeli population think that the Israeli government leave the hostages. What do you think?
First of all, I made it clear we hadn't, and we will never do that. And we are committed to the release of all of our hostages. And military efforts that being done are done in that context. We had, since the end of the first phase of the ceasefire, we had 17 days without any military activity, but we saw nothing happened, and they just kept a very stubborn position, Hamas, and we must act in order to promote this objective as we did in the past. With regard to your first question, since October 7, we have noticed positive measures that have been taken by the French government to fight anti-Semitism. Many countries have already adopted the IHRA definition into a binding law, and we believe this is an essential additional step that should be taken.
Thank you.
I have two questions. I would like to come back on Iran, and I would like to know how far or how do you assess the risk of the conflict? You said that you don't exclude a diplomatic path, but would you say that it's we are more close to a conflict, or how do you assess the situation? And the second question is to come back to Gaza. The families of hostages accusing the government of sacrificing the hostages with the new military operation in Gaza. How do you respond to the families to that criticism?
First of all, about the second question, I won't get into an argument about it, but I can say, since I'm meeting consistently with hostages' families that there is more than one opinion on the issue. But we take the measures that we see as the measures that can help us reach the objectives. And we did it, and we did, as I reminded, 2 previous hostages deal. We hope we will have a new one. This is our aim. With regard to the first question, I don't think it is my role to give assessments. This is your role as a journalist and interpreters, and I won't get into that. The most important thing is that the objective will be clear. And the objective, as I said, is that Iran will not possess nuclear weapon. And this is the objective. And this is what I can say about it.
Maybe I can re-ask the question differently for Iran.
You can rephrase it, but I'm not sure you'll get a different answer.
I just want to know if you get some signals from Iran that they are willing to negotiate, and do you have with your exchange with the E3 or with the US, what kind of signal do you get from Iran? Are they willing to negotiate today?
We don't hold discussions with the Iranians, as you know, but they made it clear they are ready to an indirect negotiations with the U.S., and I will not be surprised if such negotiations will start.
We have a few last questions. Yes, please.
How far are we today from putting the peace process in Gaza back on track, and is it realistic, considering the situation today, that you might achieve some sort of agreement in the near future? Oh, sorry, and Thierry Arnaud with BFM TV Offense.
Again, I don't want to give an assessment because then you have at least 50% to have a wrong judgment in the future that will be revealed. But I think it is possible. I don't think it is not possible. I think it is possible. But I cannot be sure it will happen. We gave counter-proposal. Our counter-proposal is basically quite close to the idea that brought a few weeks ago Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. And what is the idea? Basically, to extend the temporary ceasefire, 1, to release hostages, 2, and to conduct negotiations on phase 2 during this extended time we will agree upon. This is I would say, the 3 dimensions of Witkoff's proposal, and basically we think such dimensions should be included in any agreement.
Why doesn't it work? What is blocking the situation in your opinion?
Hamas is stubborn and trying to use our hostages in order to enforce upon us dictates or his will about the conditions to end this war. And that won't happen.
Thank you. Yes, please. Other questions?
Sorry, I had a question about military strategy in Gaza. Mr. Katz, 2 days ago, talked about, he said he wanted to take control. He said Israel wanted to take control of new territories in Gaza. And Mr. Netanyahu talked yesterday about comparting Gaza to get the hostages back.
About what?
Comparting divide Gaza to get the hostages back. I wanted to know, how could you present the military strategy to your counterpart, Mr. Barrot?
Well, hadn't entered into military strategies. Those who decide what will be, of course, eventually the political level approve, but those who design the military actions are the IDF people, led by the chief of staff of the IDF, and taking those steps who they think will be effective in the military effort. But I admit that our discussion was strategic, political, and not a military discussion.
Yes.
שלום, אני מפטרולי הערוץ ה-24. אשמח תשובה בעברית וגם באנגלית, אפשר?
אפשר, אני יכול לדבר גם בעברית.
שמענו מילים מאוד קשות של הנשיא צרפת עמנואל מקרון נגד ישראל במשך מלחמה בעזה. אז האם אתה חושב שהיום, אחרי שיחתך עם שר החוץ הצרפתי, צרפת הבינה את המלחמה בישראל בעזה? שאלה שנייה, האם צרפת עומדת לצד ישראל במלחמה נגד איראן, במיוחד אם יום אחד תהיה תקיפה באיראן? Emmanuel Macron a posé des questions, a fait des déclarations très sévères envers Israël pour sa guerre à Gaza. Après votre rencontre aujourd'hui, estimez-vous que la France a compris la façon dont Israël mène cette guerre? Et d'autre part, la France sera-t-elle aux côtés d'Israël si jamais une action militaire devait avoir lieu en Iran?
So for the first, לגבי השאלה השנייה, היא שאלה תיאורטית. מה יקרה בעתיד? כמו שאמרתי קודם, היעד הוא משותף. היעד שלאיראן לא יהיה נשק גרעיני הוא משותף לצרפת ולישראל. ואנחנו דנים באפשרויות שונות מבלי לפגוע בריבונות של כל אחת מהמדינות וביכולת שלה לקבל את ההחלטות הנדרשות לפי שיקול דעתה. צרפת היא בין המדינות הפעילות בסוגיה הזאת. לגבי השאלה הראשונה, כשאתה מחליף דעות, כשאתה מקיים דיאלוג, הסיכוי להגיע ליותר הבנה הוא גדל. זה לא אומר שצד אחד מצליח לאכוף את דעותיו על הצד השני. זה לא עובד ככה בעולם המדיני, אבל יש לי דיאלוג שוטף עם שר החוץ הצרפתי, לא רק בפגישות, אנחנו משוחחים מעת לעת בטלפון כשיש התפתחויות, והוא גם באופן יחסי בקיא בנושאים, ואנחנו מסבירים את העמדה שלנו, לפעמים גם כשאנחנו חושבים שיש איזושהי אמירה שהיא לא מוצדקת. הייתה לדוגמה לפני שלשום, אם אני לא טועה, ביקורת על עובדים הומניטריים שנפגעו, ובפועל המקרה הזה, מי שנהרג בו היה אחד ממחבלי החמאס שביצעו את הטבח ב7 באוקטובר, ועוד נדמה לי 7 או 8 אנשי חמאס וג'יהאד איסלאמי. ואנחנו מביאים הרבה פעמים את העובדות שלנו מוכרות יותר. אבל אני לא יכול לדבר בשם שר החוץ הצרפתי, אבל אנחנו הצגנו את העובדות, כפי שדובר צה"ל הציג את העובדות. ישראל אף פעם לא מטרגטת אל המחבלים. זה לא אומר שבמלחמה בכלל אין תקלות, יכולות להיות תקלות, וזה תמיד מצער אם הן קורות, אבל במקרה הספציפי הזה, גם ההתנהגות של הרכב וגם הזהות של מי שנהרג מעידה על זה שלא הייתה טעות. אז אנחנו מציגים את העובדות האלה, ובסך הכל אני חושב שזה תורם. עוד פעם, אתה לא, צרפת יש את העמדות שלה, לא בכל הדברים אנחנו מסכימים, אנחנו מציגים את העמדות שלנו ואת האינטרסים שלנו.
Just turning to trade for a moment, can you confirm that the Israeli government has dropped all tariffs on U.S. goods coming into your country after the U.S. government slapped 17% tariffs on Israel? That was a tweet, apparently it was from Antony this morning.
I believe there was an announcement by the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister on the issue. I cannot add on that because I'm not dealing directly with the issue.
Thank you. Yes.
So currently, Israeli Prime Minister is in Budapest following Hungary's pledge not to arrest him, and its announcement of withdrawal from the ICC. Has the issue of possible arrest warrants and immunity for Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Barrot been raised during your visit here?
First of all, you spoke about Hungary, and I raised the issue on my visit to Budapest on February, suggesting that Hungary will quit from the ICC. I know they are consider that seriously and will have to follow their announcement from the visit of the Prime Minister. With regard to France, I spoke about the issue in the past with the Foreign Minister, the French Foreign Minister, and they published an opinion which, in their mind, there is an immunity for heads of state. It's also a legal perception, and including the Prime Minister. And this is the way they see the issue. Of course, it's not the same way Hungary is looking at the issue, or us, but it is a recognition for the immunity of heads of state that they say they will implement.
Last question, please. Yes.
Yes, two quick questions, please. You said earlier that you would not be surprised if indirect negotiations are launched between the Trump administration and Iran. What would be Israel's red lines if an agreement is achieved, taking into account that the window of negotiation will be very short with the October snapback? And I also wanted to ask about normalization in Lebanon, because the American envoy said that the U.S. is working in that direction. What does it stand for the moment? Did we really start negotiations with the Lebanese government?
First of all, with regard to the first question, I don't think I should deal with that publicly. With regard to the second question, we, of course, would like to reach normalization relations with Lebanon. It might be too early from Lebanese perspective to do it right now. We started to negotiate on certain issues. We have a team negotiate on the issue of borders and certain borders disputes that we have for time with Lebanon. And another issue is certain prisoners caught in this war in Lebanon by us. And there is a team, a negotiating team. Also, my ministry is represented there by the Director General of the ministry. And we will hold negotiations on these issues, but we are not yet in the point of negotiating normalization. Hopefully, we will be in the future.
Thank you. This press conference is now over.
So